So far, the 2019 NBA season has had a few new standouts for NBA MVP. In my opinion, there are three players currently in the running for the award. First, last year's MVP, James Harden, is putting together another MVP-type season, as he's kept the Houston Rockets afloat while dealing with injuries to key team members Chris Paul, Clint Capella, and Eric Gordon. Harden has been on a scoring tear, as he currently has a 32-game scoring streak of at least 30 points plus per game. The most memorable moment of James Harden's season, in my opinion, was when James Harden led his Houston Rockets to Golden State for a matchup against the repeat NBA champion Golden State Warriors. In the fourth quarter of that game, coming down to the end, the NBA referees tried their best to rig the game for the Warriors. No play stands out more than maybe the worst call in NBA history, when Kevin Durant, being blatantly out of bounds and still quote-unquote saving the basketball that led to a Steph Curry basket and gave the Golden State Warriors the lead. Most teams would have folded, but James Harden didn't sweat it, and he hit a dagger three in the face of Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. If the season ended after that shot, many would have bowed to Harden and just gave him another MVP. And you couldn't really blame them. But what has happened since that game are a number of questionable losses to up and down teams like the Orlando Magic, the Brooklyn Nets, the New Orleans Pelicans, and the Minnesota Timberwolves. I understand basketball is a team game, and with the injuries to key players, it has led Harden to having to do more. But when James's shot isn't going in, it's really a disgusting brand of basketball to watch. In the game against the Minnesota Timberwolves, James Harden hogged the ball in the fourth quarter, worse than a fat pig playing in its own slop. Harden had numerous open teammates down the stretch of that game, Chris Paul included, and either he could not find them or didn't care to. Harden was also rejected by Minnesota rookie Josh Okogie in what was one of the highlights of the night defensively, as Harden's signature move was sent back in his face. The moment that stands out to me that led to Harden falling back in the MVP race is when the Oklahoma City Thunder rolled into town, and Paul George took it to James Harden and his Houston Rockets after Harden pushed George to the ground earlier in that game. George would then go off for 45 points on the Rockets and is now averaging 35 points per game in the last month. Now I know some people are going to say, hey, James Harden's been averaging 35 points for the whole season. Yeah, that's true, but has it led to victories? I'd say no. But even if, as earlier stated, that it's because Harden hasn't had a full roster, defensively, it hasn't even been close between the two. Now don't get me wrong, James does get some steals, but a lot of them are loose ball steals that he didn't necessarily generate. Paul George has been a ball hawk, and many teams aren't even trying to test him defensively, as he's been locked down all season, to the point that many teams are saying Paul George is now the best two-way player in the NBA ahead of Kawhi Leonard. Paul George is also on the same team as Mr. Triple-Double himself, 2017 NBA MVP Russell Westbrook. And to this point in the season, he's hands down been clearly better than Westbrook and the best player on his team. Right now, the Thunder sit at third in the West. So in my opinion, that puts Paul George at the second spot in the MVP running, ahead of James Harden, who I have at third. The front runner for league MVP, in my opinion, is the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Currently, the Milwaukee Bucks have the best record in the NBA at 44-14 and have not lost back-to-back games all season. Giannis has been a problem on both the offensive and defensive ends. There has literally been no answer for this guy. I also haven't seen someone with this level of dominance since Shaquille O'Neal, as the Greek freak just gets the ball and dunks it if he's anywhere close to the basket. His field goal percentage is almost at 60%. As the shots he takes are highly probable of scoring. It seems like every game that the Greek freak plays that he's easily averaging 30 and 15 in his sleep. This season, no one's been more dominant than Greek freak, especially since no one else is really standing out in the East for the award. Kawhi Leonard, in my opinion, would have been in the running, but he missed too many games to be even in consideration. The criteria for NBA MVP has usually been the best player on the best team model, and if that remains to be the case, Giannis should get the award. But some people might say, hey, the Warriors might end up with the best record. The record is close to the Bucks. Shouldn't someone get it off their team? And my answer would be usually yes, but the NBA can't stand the sight of Kevin Durant. They think he's a wimp, like we all do, and they figure that he'll probably just get another NBA Finals MVP this year anyway, so don't crown him with too much. And also because when Steph Curry was injured, Kevin Durant lost control of the team, and their win-loss record was very average, and Draymond Green sent KD crying to his mom. Anyway, I think the three players as mentioned are currently the three finalists for the league MVP. Other than when Russell Westbrook winning MVP without being on a top 3 team in the West, no one has won the award in recent memory without being either a top 2 team in their conference, and Russ got the award because it was the first time someone had averaged a triple-double for a whole season in almost 50 years since Oscar Robertson. But last season, so the season prior to the season after his MVP year, he still averaged a triple-double but wasn't even in consideration for MVP. A lot can change from today to the end of the season, but if Milwaukee keeps playing the way that they have, the 2019 NBA MVP will be the Greek Freak. This video is a wrap. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, and please comment. And as usual, I got a question for you guys. Is my current pick for league MVP wrong? Is it not Giannis? If it's not, who is it? Is it Paul George? Is it James Harden? Is it LeBron James? Or someone that I'm not even thinking about? Anyway, let me know in the comment section. Let's get the debate going. Until tomorrow, peace.